everyone. This is Tim of the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, it's a Tuesday. It's after the day. You know, the debacle's getting further and further away. Every day it goes a little further away. It fades in memory. No, it'll never fade in memory. How the hell do you lose to the Falcons 17-14? This channel will become the Screaming Falcon. Very soon, for at least a couple days. I'm still working on the logo and everything else, because honestly, I never thought we were going to lose that. I have to do the damn logo and everything. I would be joining Bad Dog tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his channel. Always fun, always entertaining, always a good chat. Join in if you can, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to talk about two topics today real quick. Evan Engram, trade. What can we get from him? Can we get anything? Bag of chips? Maybe this half-empty bottle of soda? And why the Giants are not going to fire Jason Garrett at this point in time, even though there's a fan revolt against the embattled offensive coordinator, and there's he is the object of their ire. He is the fall guy. He is the scapegoat. We have said it a million times before, but the Giants are going to get rid of him, and that's the thing. They're just not going to do it, and he is the perfect scapegoat.
Warning, sarcasm, warning.
That wasn't the sarcasm. Hit the wrong button. Jason Garrett, scapegoat. He really is the perfect scapegoat. But let's talk about Evan Engram first. People want to trade Evan after his disastrous opening day. It wasn't that horrible. He's just another player that the Giants fan base is frustrated with. Good or bad, right or wrong or indifferent, that's who they're going to take their ire out on. Will they trade him before November 2nd? Right now, really, what are you going to get from him? He's just coming off an injury. He's played one game out of 3 this season. He is not the most, I would say, he is talented. Is he the most talented tight end in the league? No. He's kind of more of a quasi tight end / slot guy / receiver / pretty much H-back, anything you can possibly think of. But can he be traded? No, you can't. If you want to get market value for Evan Engram, you should have traded him like 2 years ago. You're not going to get market value for him. What are you going to get, a 7th round draft choice? If you're lucky. He still has some value to this team. If he can just figure it out and figure out how to get on the field without fumbling, and I don't 100% blame the fumble on him. You're asking a guy that's been out for over 3 weeks to come in and make a major contribution to the team, especially after you lose Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. You're relying on Colin Johnson to come in. And you know what? I don't really think the Giants care that the fans hate Evan Engram. Not to be rude, but I really don't think they care. Because if Evan Engram takes, like he did against Tampa, takes a pass and goes 75 yards, all will be forgiven. Everything will be forgotten. So the Giants aren't going to listen to the fans. The Giants are there to win games. I don't want to break this news to people. People are like, well, we're going to revolt, not go to the games and do this. Okay, you know what? You ever heard of revenue sharing? The money you get from ticket sales and everything and concessions during your 8 games does not even equate anything to the revenue sharing. So the Giants aren't going to be reactive to what the fans want, and nor should they be. Nor should any NFL franchise be that way. You have to find value in your players. You have to turn around and make sure that if you are going to move them, there is a certain value you need to obtain to get them. Or it's a waste, because you're going to lose Evan Engram anyway. And people will be like, well, a 7th round draft choice is better than nothing for Evan Engram because they were going to lose him anyways. No, it's not. 7th round draft. How many 7th round draft choices make immediate contributions to the team when Evan Engram can do that? He just got to get his head on right like the rest of this team. I love it because I got a lot of people in the comments section the last couple of days either apologizing to me or telling me how right I've been since before the end of last season. And I'm not omnipotent. I don't know these things because everyone's like, well, you always seem to be right now. No, I'm not always right. But what I think logically, I step out, and I've said this a million times. I could probably have so many more likes and clicks and buzzes and beeps and bloops and everything else on social media, but I have the unpopular idea of telling the truth. And sometimes people don't like the truth. I said this is a 6 to 7 win team. That's me. This is a 6 or 7 win team. 8 if the defense sacks up into the top 5 and we move into the top 20 on offense. Well, the problem is none of that's happening. And you could see the fact that we don't have depth at linebacker. We don't have any edge. Our offensive line depth is kind of pretty much a joke. Daniel Jones is still not reading through his progressions. As much as people want to think he had a good game on Sunday, you're sadly mistaken. But that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But don't be entitled to your opinion as a fan with your fan hat on. Pretend you're a Dallas Cowboy fan watching the Giant game. Do you have any fear or trepidation going up against Daniel Jones? I know I don't. I wouldn't. Because he still has this lost puppy look. And I love it because I still love the Kurt Warner film, man, from the Washington game, because there were 17 minutes of it. And most of it was things that the wide receivers did wrong and what Daniel Jones did wrong. It barely touched Jason Garrett. But all the Daniel Jones lovers sat there and said, "See, look what Kurt Warner's saying." No, Kurt Warner said a lot of things about Daniel Jones and how he seems scared, basically, and how he has single coverage on both sidelines and dumps it off instead of taking the shot. But we don't want to hear about that stuff. And now I love all the people that are like, "I've been saying the Giants were going to be terrible in this, and I'm doing this." No, you weren't. The bandwagon got jumped off on so quickly, it's not even funny. And I said this a million times. I say this to my son and everyone else. Stick to your convictions. Don't all of a sudden turn on your team because of the fact that they're not winning or they're not achieving the success you thought they were going to. Be a fan, not a fanatic. And that's the same thing with Jason Garrett. They're not going to get rid of Jason Garrett now. If they chuck up a stinker against the Saints, there's a possibility they could move on from him. But Freddie Kitchen is not the answer. Freddie Kitchen is not going to install a brand new offensive philosophy over Jason Garrett because he's going to run the same offense. That's and these people, they're like, well, he's just going to come in and he's going to be a breath of fresh air. How is he going to be a breath of fresh air? His job recently has been to work with the offensive line coaches who both came out of college. That's been his job recently. I want to know where this genius Freddie Kitchen is. I really do. I really do want to know this. He had one good season with Baker Mayfield as an offensive coordinator, 18, got fired after head coach at the end of 19, became the Giants tight end coach, and now he's a senior offensive assistant. Before he became the offensive coordinator, he was the running back coach, he was a quarterback's coach, he was a tight ends coach. So this thing that people think that he is going to be this offensive savior and guru, oh my God. Think about these things for a peep. Just think about these things for a minute. He lost an entire locker room in 1 year. He became so unpopular from 18 to 19 that they had no choice but to fire him in Cleveland. Think about that for a minute. Sure, he helped improve Baker Mayfield during his rookie season. Sure. Why not? That was in 18. But you know what? Baker Mayfield is also a player. Baker Mayfield does not play with fear. Baker Mayfield does not understand the fact if I throw it, and you know the thing I like about Baker Mayfield and players like Kyler Murray, they throw the ball, they throw into coverage, they throw it for the opportunity, and you know what? If they make the mistake, they come back out again and keep going after it. Freddie Kitchens was fired hours after the final game of the 19 season, which was a 33-23 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. So if you're sitting there thinking Freddie Kitchens is going to be your offensive savior, he's not going to be installing a new offense. He's going to run the exact same offense. Jason Garrett is getting the blame for everything, and he is the easiest person to get the blame for. It's simple. But you know what? You got to look at the whole thing, as I've said it before, starts from the top down. Time management, Joe Judge. Timeout management. You at one point, you punted from the 38. Joe Judge, no balls, no guts. I'm going to play smash mouth football for 38 minutes. Yeah, you could have either kicked the field goal or went for it on fourth down, but you punted. Or did we just forget about that? And then I love it because then people are like, well, he needs to use Daniel Jones's leg more because we're going to put him in a read option situation. Daniel Jones does not have the acceleration. If you watch him, once he builds up speed and gets going, that's when he makes plays. But he does not have that acceleration right off the ball. He has more what they refer to as long stride speed, which is why Jason Garrett takes advantage of the over-aggressiveness of the defense with Daniel Jones's legs. But you're not going to make him a read option quarterback. He's not Lamar Jackson. And then you're blaming Jason Garrett for him not targeting Tony or targeting Kenny G. And instead he's going with Colin Johnson. You got all your main weapons out. You know what? Right or wrong, good or bad or indifferent, Eli Manning used to try to feed the ball into Odell Beckham. So you cannot blame Jason Garrett for the quarterback not turning around and letting it loose. You put your team in situations to throw. Jason Garrett is Daniel Jones is more than happy to dump it off. If you want to make Jason Garrett, scapegoat. The scapegoat, that's fine, but it's not going to correct the problems on the team. It's not going to correct. The bloom is off the rose on Joe Judge. I always love it, and I said it, and I've said it, and I got blasted for it when I said, you know what? People are like, Joe Judge won the press conference. I said, I don't care if he wins the press conference. I want him to win games. And you're relying on reviving this franchise by a special teams coach. Does no one else think that's freaking crazy besides me? Am I the only one not taking the crazy pills? Look at what this team is. You lack any presence on the edge on defense. You lack any pass rush. You have no linebackers, these are all things that I've been saying since before the draft and free agency. You have no linebackers. You're relying on your 2 to 3 safeties to come up and play linebacker and play in the box. You have no ability to cover the tight end. Your offensive line is fair to below average at best at times. You got a running back coming off an ACL. You got a quarterback who really, if you watch him, he does not really know how to go through his reads and progressions, and he does not cut it loose. But that's everyone else's fault but Daniel Jones. No, don't blame Daniel Jones. He's a good kid. I said it before. I'd rather have an asshole who could read defenses. I don't care if he's a good kid. Go get a job selling insurance if you're such a great kid. I don't need you as my quarterback. You could fire Jason Garrett, but it's not going to revolve the situation. You can fire and you can promote Freddie Kitchens. It's not going to do anything. Look at your history, guys. See who Freddie Kitchens is. See what he's done in his career. And then you just want a pound of flesh. That's all you want. And you know what? Jason Garrett is going to be the one that is going to be the sacrificial lamb for the failures of Dave Gettleman, Joe Judge, and Daniel Jones. Don't forget to check us out tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Bad Dog Show. Looking forward to that. Hope everyone can make it. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could maybe subscribe, ring that bell, the means, that'd be awesome.